From drastically playing up for the camera with her symptoms, starting new TikTok trends to do with autism,
I'm so good at masking. No one would ever know I was autistic if I didn't tell them.
and even addressing the fake disorder cringe subreddit in a lengthy YouTube video condemning their actions and calling them out.
I feel like I understand why some of you came to the conclusions that you did about why I'm faking.
With other content creators and users of the website calling her out for her misinformation that could be dangerous.
Hi, I saw your clip, and what you're model mimicking is really not something that has to do with stimming or autism.
This TikToker, in my eyes, has gone too far. And I'll tell you exactly the TikToker that I'm talking about straight after the comment shout out. And that goes to Raven229. Thank you so much for your comment. If you guys want a shout out in the next video, make sure to leave a comment down below saying, Ablaze, I smashed the subscribe button. And I'll pick one of you for a shout out in the next video. So, not too much is particularly known about this TikToker, but her name is Rain Majin, and she actually has more than one TikTok account. Her smaller one with having 28.1 thousand followers, and then another one with 201.4 thousand followers, with a staggering 7.2 million likes. If we go over to her Instagram, we can actually find out a little bit more about her. Firstly, her nickname is Rain, also with the bio saying 23, sporadically sharing the eclectic offerings of a menagerie of mind. But honestly, if you guys have spent any time on my YouTube channel, I'm sure you have seen her face plenty of times.
It's okay. It's okay.
In fact, even if you actually haven't been on this channel and this is your first time watching, why haven't you subscribed yet? You've probably seen her over on TikTok, as she's made plenty of trends over these past few years, with the most popular one being this is what a girl looks like with autism, as she then decides to dance very calmly in front of the camera. Now, before I go any further with this video, I would like to just mention the fact that I'm not saying her having autism or DID and is necessarily faking it. No, what I'm actually saying is in her TikToks, she is drastically exaggerating her symptoms, and she is clearly doing this to gain extra attention for views, likes, and comments. I understand having these disorders can be a scary thing, but some of the stuff that she claims in her TikToks is just completely wrong, misinformation, and just doesn't simply make any sense. Now, if you go on to both of those TikToks that I had mentioned earlier, it actually says this: deplatformed myself because TikTok is a hellscape. Honestly, probably the only thing I'm going to agree with this person. Yes, it is a hellscape. But that also means, yes, she doesn't have any of her content on any of her pages anymore. Maybe, perhaps shockingly, content like this gets a little bit of backlash. Who would have funked it? Further on, the two things that she actually claims to have, firstly being DID, and secondly autism. Now, she talks about this all in great detail in all of her past TikTok videos. In fact, it would appear that she made that her whole personality. And to be quite honest with you, it's no surprise because I look at some of those TikToks, and in one of them she even talks about the fact of autism being a choice.
Hey, I think this is a genuine question, so I wanted to take a second to talk about it. A lot of people get really angry when I post videos of myself dancing and I say that I'm stimming. This is something that a lot of holistic people cannot wrap their heads around about the autistic community. We love choosing our own language. Within the autistic community, even labeling yourself as autistic is considered an identity and a choice, a personal...
While further on talking about stimming, which is when you feel a overload and your body moves uncontrollably. Now, there's a little bit of backlash when it comes to stimming, some people not believing it and other people claiming it's very much a real thing. While looking online, this is what I can see about stimming. Stimming is a term used to describe a self-stimulatory behaviors that involve repetitive movements or sounds. It is a way to regulate stress and emotion. Stimming is a part of the diagnostic criteria for autism, but is not always related to autism. Everyone stims in one way, and it is not always clear to others. Stimming is a stress relieving mechanism, like talking with friends, jogging, working out, or writing poetry. Anyone generally writes poetry for a stress relief? I'm actually curious, but this is what she had to say about that as well.
Autistic people love to try to keep the gate for us, but we've been very vocal about hating this. The same is true about stimming. Autistic people describe stimming as a lot of different things because it's a self-regulation tool and it's a tool for self-expression. Every time I dance, it's a stim, even if it was choreographed.
Which I agree up until the last part, even if it was choreographed. Even reading online, it seems to be a motion that is caused uncontrollably. Having a dance that is choreographed isn't something that is uncontrollable. Further on, this TikToker has created countless trends. Like I stated earlier, I'm sure some of you have probably seen her over on Instagram, or perhaps have heard this famous clip.
I'm so good at masking. No one would ever know I was autistic if I didn't tell them.
Which can be quite worrying to see. Now, although I think certain social media platforms can be a great way to share information, I also think it's a double-edged blade. That being, talking from an emotional charged standpoint in which you then claim that information to be 100% real, in which lies misinformation. And in one of those cases, we can actually see that, as a TikToker by the name of Tiny Comedian actually calls her out for this, and does a rather great job doing so. As Rain creates a TikTok with the caption saying, "And when I was younger, my brothers used to make fun of my radical word kids by going stim." To which the TikToker Tiny Comedian responded with some actual real information.
Hi, I saw your clip, and what you're model mimicking is really not something that has to do with stimming or autism. Typically people who do that type of movement deal with a form of cerebral palsy. Like myself, I have to have Botox injections in my legs and my arms to get them out of that rigid state, as well as physical therapy 2 to 3 times a day to stretch those muscles. But when I sleep or I'm in a relaxed state, they do go up. Now the type of movement that you were doing is called a clonic movement, where the muscle will tremble because it's so fatigued, and so you'll get that type of rapid, uncontrolled movement. It's not really a stim. And when your brothers or whoever you mentioned are making fun of, quote, individuals with the R word, it's not just people with autism. It can be any intellectual disability. People with cerebral palsy can have intellectual disabilities or other learning impairments, or they can have normal cognitive function. It just depends on which part of the brain is affected. But normally, if you see this type of rigid movement up to the chest, it is an indication of some sort of brain issue, a neurological issue, and not really associated with autism. It's not a stim. So I just wanted to point out that you reclaiming something that wasn't really yours and not everything that has to do with the R word or autism is a stim. Sometimes there's very valid reasons for certain movements. And now you know. So you can maybe stop doing that.
In which, after the fact, I just find that this TikToker seems to double down. Now, like I stated earlier, she did in fact make a video addressing the whole fake disorder cringe subreddit. It appears that she doesn't necessarily mind being called out, but at the same time does. She claims that she sees where you guys are coming from, but also not to really question her. She doesn't like to be challenged, and defaults to the whole argument of fake claiming is disgusting, which I actually find to be rather a massive cop-out. Some people do claim that fake claiming people online is a disgusting thing to do, but I also think that some of the people that say that are also hiding behind that.
This is going to be already a little lapse from my normal content. I wasn't entirely planning on making this, but I have a little letter to a part of the internet that knows me very well. And I wanted to take some time to talk just to you because I don't think I ever have before.
As countless people have called her out in the past. So she decided to go over to YouTube, where she actually does have a YouTube channel talking about this, addressing the fake disorder cringe subreddit personally with this video, to which the beginning part honestly sounds really sweet. It's coming from this girl who's sweet and innocent.
I wanted to let you guys know that I have seen a lot of what you've said about me. I've seen a lot of the posts, I've seen a lot of your comments, I've seen a lot of the ideas that you have, and I want to say that I understand and I think that I see.
One of the things I did find interesting though at the beginning of this video is the fact that she doesn't want to talk about any of her disorders and not necessarily wanting to get into it. Now, of course, this could just be the fact that she doesn't want to give the people on the subreddit what they're looking for, but I do find that a little bit strange considering something like that could shut that down immediately. So it's definitely interesting to see her avoid that.
So this is Dear r/fake disorder cringe. Hi, I know you probably already recognize me, but just in case you don't, my name is Rain MJ Eden, and I am a 22-year-old content creator.
I do understand at the same time as well that there is simply just no pleasing everyone, despite what she does, and I do get that. On the other hand, making one final video debunking all the stuff would have maybe perhaps been a better approach here. She further on claims that she understands where you guys are coming from and get that you have every right to question.
I feel like I understand why some of you came to the conclusions that you did about why I'm faking. And so I want to say that I'm not angry at you, and I'm not going to try to change your mind.
But then simultaneously seems to double back on that and hide behind the fact that fake claiming is disgusting and you should never do that.
I just want you to know that I believe fake claiming is an unethical way to treat people.
So which is it? Which another thing she also seems to claim is that you should always trust what people say.
And I have found that listening to people and believing them when they speak is very fulfilling. I've found that creating human connection through mutual trust is very fulfilling. I've found that I do not need to control the people around me who I think are wrong. There are so many people in this world that are wrong, and there are so many people who are liars. There are so many people who I will never understand, but I don't think that I am a god, and I don't think that me telling those people that they are bad will make them change.
Again, given the perception of the things that she's been saying, that we should just take her word for it. We don't know her personally, and I do think that everyone on the internet has that right to question stuff. posting stuff online comes with a whole range of things. People leaving comments down below who aren't necessarily going to agree with you. And you can't simply control that. There will be people on this video that will not agree what I have said. And again, like I've stated in endless videos, that is perfectly okay. You are well within your right to do so. In fact, I actually think that's what makes YouTube and TikTok kind of appealing and has some charm to it. I would actually find it quite boring if everyone did agree with each other, and I just want to state that it's okay if you don't. And let's be honest, when you create TikToks like this, you're inevitably gonna find people that don't agree with it. It seems like she's taken a step away from TikTok, and perhaps that was maybe the best course of action here, as I also want to create these videos just going over the whole situation, not necessarily giving any hate, but again, voicing my opinion. So voice yours in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. And if you guys enjoy these types of videos, definitely consider subscribing. I also upload different types of videos as well, so come over to my channel and check some of those out. With that all being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.
I hope you have a really great day. Bye.